Karina baby, for November the 3rd, we have the Baker Man. Do you know the baker man? He bakes the bread as fast as he can. Flour, water, yeast, and so. That's the way he makes the dough. 4 long loaves, short loaves, big and small, square or round, he makes them all. French bread, whole bread, white and brown, bread for people in our town. Very cute, right? Very cute. Do you know the baker man, the baker man, the baker man? Do you know the baker man who lives in Mulberry Lane? Yes, I know the baker man, the baker man, the baker man. Yes, I know the baker man who lives in Mulberry Lane. Right? That's such a cute little rhyme. So we have Monster Inc. Scariest day ever. James P. Sullivan and his best friend Mikey Wazowski were on scary duty at Monster Incorporated. Sully stepped through the door and looked around. There was no one there. Mike, Sully said, pointing his head back through the door. This room's empty. What are you talking about? Mike said, shoving past Sully into the room. This kid's always asleep by now. Sully shrugged. I guess we should go back to Monsteropolis. I've got lots of other kids to scare tonight. But as Sully turned around the door, his tail knocked it shut. Oh, they got stuck. Let's take a look. These drawings are so amazing. The illustrations, aren't they just so cute? Meanwhile, on Scary Floor, George Sanderson and his handyman Charlie were working on some neighborhood in the same neighborhood as Mike and Sully, and they saw an advocate door, but no one appeared to be manning it. Ugh, Charlie said when he saw the unmanned door. Looks like Mike and Sully accidentally left this one on. But better turn it off, George said. It isn't safe to leave a door to the human world active. Back in the human world, Sully reopened the closed door, but when he did, he saw the inside of the closet. The door back to the scare floor isn't working, said Sully. We're going to have to find another house with a working door, and fast. Oh no, they shut off the door and now they're stuck. Mike and Sully crept through the house and stepped outside. Remember, Sully said, don't touch anything. Mike nodded. All the monsters knew humans were toxic. But as he looked around, he realized he didn't see any humans. Instead, the streets were full of monsters. What's going on? Mike asked, scratching his head. Are we back in Monsteropolis? Suddenly, Mike and Sully heard a voice behind them. They spun around. A small monster was standing there, peering up at them. I like your costume, she said before running off. Mike and Sully looked at each other. Costumes? What could possibly be going on? Look at all the little monsters. And then look at her. She's like, I like your costume. Mike and Sully looked back at the streets. There weren't only monsters walking around. They also saw a ghost, a black cat, a pumpkin with legs, and all kinds of other creatures. Suddenly, one of the monsters pulled off its face. Mike and Sully gasped. It wasn't a monster after all. It was a child wearing a mask. They weren't back in Monsteropolis. They were surrounded by human children wearing disguises. Suddenly, Sully did his best to stay calm. We have to find a door back to Monster Inc. now, he said. George is working this neighborhood tonight, too. Mike said if we can catch one of his doors in time, then we could go back through. Mike and Sully tried to find a way inside one of the nearby houses, but it wasn't easy. They had to dodge children left and right, and there were people at the front doors of almost all the homes. Look at how cute. Pumpkin-lit legs. Look at them. They're scared to touch the children. They're afraid they're going to get sick. Mike and Sully managed to sneak into a few houses, but none of the doors inside were powered up. In one house, they got to the bedroom just as George was leaving. "George!" Mike and Sully shouted, running for the open door. "Wait for us!" But they weren't fast enough. George hadn't heard them. Click, the door closed behind him. Mike and Sully opened the door, but there was no scare floor behind it. Just a closet full with children's clothes. Mike and Sully were beginning to worry. They needed to go back to Monsteropolis before one of these kids touched them. "Is it getting late?" Mike said. "Do you think any of the doors back at the scare floor are still in use?" "I'm sure hope so," Sully said. But Mike and Sully noticed a house with no one around. The front door was flung wide open. Maybe this was their ticket home. "Come on, let's go," said Sully. Mike and Sully tiptoed inside the house, but as they crept towards the door, they heard sounds of talking and laughter. The house wasn't empty like they thought. "Oh no," Sully said when he realized what was going on. "We're in the middle of a party," Mike exclaimed. "Whoa," said someone behind Mike and Sully. The two spun around, and the boys stood there staring at them. "Cool Halloween costume." Mike and Sully slowly began to back away. "Ugh," Mike said to Sully. "It's Halloween." "Oops," said Mike. "I guess I missed the memo." "Hey," the boy called to his friends, "come check out these cool monster costumes." Mike and Sully shrunk backwards into a group of children approached them. "Your costumes look so real," the little girl exclaimed. "Can I touch the fur?" She reached a hand towards Sully. Mike shrieked. "No," Sully roared. Suddenly they forgot how big and frightening he was. The kids screamed at the top of their lungs and ran away. But Mike and Sully were the most terrified of all. "Let's get out of here," Mike shouted. He and Sully turned and ran. Mike pulled Sully into the closet bedroom and slammed the door behind them. "Please, please, please let this door work," Mike said. "What are the chances George is using this door?" said Sully. "Slim," said Mike. "But we have to try." Mike and Sully crossed their fingers. Then they opened the closet door, and it worked. They walked back onto the scare floor at Monster Inc. Mike and Sully breathed in huge sighs of relief. They'd made it home safe. All that screaming when I opened the door, huh? On the other side, they found George and Charlie. "What are you guys doing coming through this door?" asked George. "I was just about to scare the kid on the other side." "You saved us," said Sully. "Our door was broken." "Oops," Charlie said. "We thought you left it on by accident, and we shut it down. Sorry." "It's okay," Mike said. "We're back now. But whatever you do, do not go through that door." "Why not?" George asked. "It's Halloween, and there are kids everywhere," Sully explained. Mike shivered. Halloween is the scariest day ever. Oh, so see, everyone's afraid of something. They happen to be afraid of children touching them because they're afraid they're going to get their germs, which is very true. Children have lots and lots of germs. They touch lots and lots of things. But dirt is good for your immune system, and it's good to go outside and play, and it's good to be a child and to explore things and to explore your neighborhood and to explore your buildings and your surroundings and to explore yourself. It's good to explore everything around you. You are the only you that you're going to get. And it's good to explore your mind and your taste and everything that you like and don't like in this world. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd never tell you there's something wrong with exploring everything around you. But see, everyone is afraid of something, but you shouldn't be afraid of your surroundings or your environment. You should always keep yourself safe and protected because, like I keep saying, you are the only you that there is. You're the most important person that you have, right? And then you have people around you that are very important to you as well. The most important thing that you have is your family. Never forget that. It's always your family first. Corporations really only care about themselves. They care about their hours, their time, their money. They don't care about you. I don't care when you grow up what kind of job that you get. The corporation isn't going to care about you. Your family is going to care about you. The people around you are going to care about you. They say corporations have feelings now. They only care about themselves and making more money. So you have to really put into perspective about what you care about. And it's good to explore your surroundings. Alright, let's do the itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. It's okay that he failed or that he tried and tried again until he got it, right? You try and you try and you try until you get something. I love you and I miss you and I can't wait to see you, baby.